There is a moment many gardeners over 60 know very well. You finish pulling weeds, put one hand on your knee, the other on the bed, and think, all right, now how am I getting back up? That moment does not mean you are finished with gardening. It means the garden has to start working with your body, instead of asking your body to fight the garden. Today, I'm going to show you 7 changes that can protect your knees, back, hands, and energy, so you can keep gardening for years. And stay with me, because one of the most popular solutions, a raised bed, can actually make the problem worse when it is built the wrong way. Hello, I'm Jack, and this is Jack Knows How. Around here, we do not try to impress the garden. We try to make it productive, beautiful, and enjoyable in real life. My grandfather taught me something I did not fully understand when I was younger. He would stop working while there was still daylight left. I thought that was strange. There were always more weeds. There was always another row to water. But he would put the tools away and say, "Leave enough strength to come back tomorrow." At the time, that sounded like an excuse. Now, I think it may be some of the best gardening advice I ever heard. The goal is not to prove that you can still garden exactly as you did at 30. The goal is to build a garden you still want to enter at 70, 80 and beyond. So, let's begin where most garden pain begins, down near the ground. The first change is to bring the work up to you. That could mean a raised bed, a deep container, a vertical planter, or simply a sturdy potting bench where you can transplant seedlings without bending over a low table. But height alone is not enough. A tall bed that is too wide can force you to lean, twist, and reach with your weight hanging over the soil. Your knees may feel better, but your lower back pays the bill. As a practical guide, a bed you can reach from both sides should usually be no more than about 4 feet wide. If you can reach it from only one side, make it closer to 2 feet. The exact number depends on your arm length and whether you work standing or seated. Before building anything, stand beside the proposed bed. Keep your back comfortable and see how far you can reach without leaning. Design around that distance, not around a standard lumber size. That brings us to the second change, and it is the raised bed mistake I promised you. Stop measuring only square footage. Start measuring reach. A garden can look small on paper and still exhaust you. If every tomato requires a stretch, every weed requires a kneel, and every hose connection is 20 awkward steps away. Walk through your garden slowly and notice the places where you bend, twist, step over something, or balance on one foot. Those little movements are the hidden workload. Paths matter more than many people realize. Narrow paths force you to turn sideways. Loose stepping stones can shift. A hose across the walkway becomes a trap when you are tired or carrying a basket. Where you can create flat, firm paths wide enough to walk comfortably with a cart. If you use a stool, walker, or wheelchair, wider access is even more important. Now imagine you have fixed the height and the paths, but by 11 in the morning you are still drained. That is where the third change comes in. Put rest inside the garden, not back at the house. Add a real seat in the place where you naturally run out of energy, not a decorative chair. You never use a stable bench or stool in shade with a place for water. If the walk back to the porch feels like admitting defeat, you will keep going too long. But when rest is part of the garden, you use it before you are exhausted. Try working for 20 or 30 minutes, then stopping for 5. Change position, drink water, look at what you have done instead of staring only at what remains. On hot days, move the work to early morning or evening. I know the objection. Jack, if I stop every half hour, I'll never finish. But gardens are never finished. That is not a failure. That is the nature of a living place. The better question is whether you can finish today without losing tomorrow. The fourth change is to stop carrying what can travel another way. Water is the clearest example. A heavy watering can feels manageable for the first trip. By the fifth trip, your grip changes, your shoulder lifts, and your back starts compensating. Put hose connections closer to the beds. Use lightweight hoses, drip irrigation, or soaker hoses where they make sense. A simple timer can remove an entire daily chore during the hottest part of the season. The same principle applies to compost, soil, tools, and harvest baskets. Store frequently used tools near the place you use them. Use a cart with large, stable wheels, rather than carrying several small loads in your arms. Two-wheeled garden carts are often easier to balance than a traditional one-wheel wheelbarrow, and use smaller containers. 2 light trips are usually kinder than one heroic trip you feel for 3 days. This is where many of us have to challenge our pride. We tell ourselves, I have always carried it this way. That may be true, but tradition is not a safety system. The fifth change is to choose tools for the hand you have now, not the hand you had 20 years ago. If your fingers feel stiff or your grip tires quickly, look for padded, thicker handles. A piece of foam grip can improve a favorite tool you already own. Long-handled weeders and cultivators let you work upright. Ratcheting pruners make several smaller movements instead of demanding one hard squeeze. For gardeners with limited hand strength, a good battery pruner can be useful, but treat it with respect. It is powerful, fast, and requires careful hand placement. Sharp tools matter too. A dull pruner makes you squeeze harder and leaves a rougher cut. A sharp hoe moves through soil instead of bouncing off it. Cleaning and sharpening tools is not fussy workshop work. It reduces the effort every single job asks from your body, but even perfect tools cannot solve a garden that demands constant rescue. So the sixth change is to lower the maintenance without lowering the beauty. Mulch bare soil to suppress weeds and hold moisture. Consider no-dig methods where they suit your conditions. Replace part of a large lawn with beds, ground covers, shrubs, or a smaller area that is easier to manage. Grow more dependable perennials and fewer annuals that must be replanted every season. Choose disease-resistant varieties when available. Group plants with similar watering needs so you are not walking from one end of the yard to the other with a hose. And be honest about plants that have become a burden. We all have one. It gets mildew every year, collapses onto the path, needs constant staking, and produces 3 disappointing flowers as a reward. You are allowed to remove it. A garden is not a museum of past purchases. My grandfather had an old rose that fought him every season. He sprayed it, tied it, pruned it, complained about it, and then did the whole thing again. One spring he finally replaced it with a tougher shrub rose. I expected him to miss the old plant. Instead, he sat beside the new one with a cup of tea and said, "I should have done that 10 years ago." Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for a garden is stop demanding that one difficult plant become something it is not. And now we come to the seventh change, the one that costs nothing, but maybe the hardest. Change the rhythm before pain changes it for you. Do not save every heavy task for one Saturday. Spread jobs across the week. Rotate movements. Prune for a while, then water, then sit at the potting bench. Avoid spending an hour in the same bent position. Make a short list with one essential task, one useful task, and one task that can wait. That last category matters. Can wait is not the same as failed. If a job involves climbing, lifting large bags, moving stone, or cutting thick overhead limbs, ask for help or hire it out if you can. You are not giving away your garden. You are protecting your ability to do the parts you love. And if the garden truly is too large now, make it smaller on purpose. Keep the sunny bed you see from the kitchen window. Keep the tomatoes whose smell reminds you of summer. Keep the flowers the bees visit every morning. Let go of the area that has become nothing but guilt. A smaller garden that draws you outside is more successful than a large garden that makes you afraid of the work. So here is the simple test I want you to try this week. Do not begin by buying anything. Walk through your garden with your tools put away. Notice 3 things: where you bend, where you carry, and where you become tired. Then change just one of those places. Raise one container. Move one hose. Add one chair. Pad one handle. Shorten one work session. You do not need to rebuild the whole garden in a weekend. In fact, that would defeat the point. Make one change, feel the difference, and then make the next. Gardening after 60 is not about doing less because you have become less. It is about using experience to remove the work that never deserved your energy in the first place. My grandfather was right. Leave enough strength to come back tomorrow. The weeds will wait, the garden will still be there. And if you design it well, so will you. If this helped, tell me in the comments which job is hardest on your body right now: bending, kneeling, gripping, carrying, or simply keeping up. Your answer may help shape a future video, and another gardener may have a solution you have not tried yet. Subscribe to Jack Knows How if you want practical gardening that fits real life. Take care of yourself, take care of your garden, and I'll see you next time.